Hey guys, let's talk about fat, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the weight issues that we want to get rid of and start fresh in 2019. So let's have a look at our weight issues. Are you currently happy with your weight, with the size of the shape of your body? And some people, they think that this is the size, the shape of my body, and I have this now. I've always looked like this, and this is what I'm always going to look like for the rest of my life. I'm just big boned. And you'll be interested to find out that weight itself, the bigger the woman, the bigger the waist, the bigger circumference, the bigger the self-worth issues. The more that there has been some damage or some loss of confidence in that area. And usually that stems from very early on abuse, whether that be physical abuse, emotional abuse, severance of family, natural family, sexual abuse. So this is where we start off with this. Now, for some of you, the idea of weight, you can't trace it back to where it comes from, the origin of where it comes from. Now, there are some medications and there are some medical conditions that you will put weight on, and there's not much you can do about it. It's intrinsic with the course that's going on. But it's only a very small select few of you, a very small population, the percentage of the population. Then there's the, I know I'm eating wrong and I know that I'm eating too much. But I'm miserable, and because I'm miserable, I want to feed more. I want to soothe myself. I've had a bad day, I'm having cake. I've had a good day, I'm going to spoil myself with cake. So how we treat and spoil ourselves, or how we sit there in a depressive, anxiety, stressful, bored state and continue to shovel food into our mouths, almost unconsciously. Not even aware that you're doing it. Aware that you've had something, or you've gone and organised something, but, getting lost in what you're doing, and just sitting there continuously eating. And sometimes people eat too fast. And as you're eating too fast, your brain hasn't caught up with your stomach. So your stomach, you keep filling and filling and filling, and at some stage your brain goes, oh, hang on a minute, I've had too much and I feel sick. And that's when you finish your meal and you sit there and undo a button and you pat your tummy, and it's because your brain didn't catch up to your stomach because you're just eating too fast. And there is actually an automatic trigger that says, okay, I've had enough, I'm full, I'm pleasantly full, and I don't need to eat anymore. But if you're eating so fast, that cannot be triggered. Also, dehydration. So we've got to make sure that we're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. We start off every meal with a glass of water, and through every bite. And this takes work. It's not automatic at first. So this will take work. You put the mouthful in your mouth and you chew and you chew and you chew until it's liquefied and it's ready to be swallowed. Too many people are in too much of a hurry. We have lost the quality of meals. Meals used to be sitting down with the family or sitting down with our partner, sitting down with the people that we live with and enjoying our meal. This is connecting time. We listen to each other. We engage with each other. And this is what meal times were for. It is nourishment, but it's also an engaging activity as well. Also, life is so busy now. Everyone is in a hurry all the time. So we just scoop the food in as quickly as possible and we're off. You've got to sit down and you've got to train yourself, okay? This is nutrition. This is nourishment. This is for me. This is for me to live. This is for me to have quality body, quality life, quality mind. So I'm going to set a nice plate out, I'm going to have a jug of water, and I'm going to take my time. And you can always set your alarm clock an extra 10 minutes early in the morning or put aside time in the afternoon. But you absolutely do need to give yourself time to enjoy the experience. This is time for you. So as you eat and eat and eat until it's liquefied, it's ready to swallow, and then you have another sip of water. And we just continue until, and eat slowly. And then our brain will say, oh, we're coming to the end of this and I feel full now, so I'm just going. And there's nothing wrong with pushing the plate away. A lot of us have had this beaten into us or yelled into us as children, you're not leaving this table until that plate is empty. Or, do you think we're rich? Do we eat everything on that plate? And so we feel guilty walking away from food on a plate. There's people starving somewhere else, or it's just been embedded in us that you can't leave the plate until it's empty. That's another issue that we have as well. And the other one is I don't think many people realise that the whole idea of overeating, obesity and morbid obesity like I said, the heavier the person, the more damaged and broken the self-esteem is, the self-worth. Now, for some people, when I see them in my clinic, someone might lose, you can check the videos below, I have video reviews from people. Some people can lose 5 to 7 kilos in the first month, and other people can lose over 20. It doesn't mean that one's better than the other. What it means is through the process, we find the root cause of the eating. Why are we fulfilling our needs? Why are we giving love through our food? Why are we nurturing ourselves with food to fill ourselves up? Why are we putting this in? Because we have this lack. And we go back to the root cause of where this lack of love, of nutrition, of, wherever this comes from. And we go back to that and we acknowledge it and we release it. And we look at this in a transparent and reflective way, which is best for you. And this is engaged through the hypnosis. When you're in a relaxed state, you're completely in control when you do this. So some people, they are comfortable. In fact, they're desperate for this to just be fixed. And so when they turn up, they're like, yeah, I want to lose weight. I want to lose as much as possible. But I'm absolutely sick of my life. I just need all these things. I need help with all these things. And so they're ready to unload. And so they do, and then they have a much bigger reaction result and find that many areas of their life have improved. A lot of issues, fears, phobias, habits, addictions, you can have many, and they all stem back from the one root cause. So it's very possible to have a session of hypnosis and get rid of 3 or 4 things at once. So when they have this, they have a massive reaction, massive results, because they were ready, they were desperate to unload all of this. And then you've got some people who are very, very frightened and very timid, and it's taken them so much to make an appointment, so much to reach out, so much to ask for help. And just the idea of just losing a little bit is as much as they possibly can. This is like life and death for them. This is like, I'm letting someone in, I'm letting them into my secrets, I'm really nervous of the outcome. This is an absolute courageous, facing my fears moment. And they can do a little bit at a time. And that result is just as big as the people that have lost the 20. So as you do the best that you can do, and then, next month they come back and they feel even better. And so they lose more. A little bit of courage, then you can open up more and be more honest, and then not quite so fearful. So, okay, well, this works so far. What if I put more on there? What if we put more on those scales so that we can tip it? How will that work for you with your weight? Now, I've traced this back through many years with many people, the patients, and it's always interesting where it comes back from. For example, I had one lady who, when she was 3, this is where she went back to in her hypnosis, she was 3, she wasn't overweight, she was very, very tall in the kindy, and she was much, much taller than everybody else, and one of the other children in kindy called her an ogre, and that was it. 3-year-old remembered that, and so she became overweight, and from that moment on, not able to control herself. So she was feeding herself that love because she felt like there was something wrong with her. And so when she saw me, that issue was sorted, no problem. Now, I've seen other people where we can trace it back to even to pregnancy, where they were a fetus and there was an issue with the pregnancy, so there was a restriction around the cord, and so there was a lack of nutrition. So maybe the baby was born early, maybe there were some complications, maybe there was a very difficult delivery. But when we look into that, we find out later that that's where it stems from, because it all comes from you when you're in the session. So it can come back from any area. So like I said, if you are in your childhood or your early prepubescent years, or even after that, whenever this issue with weight started to become uncontrollable, where it's crept up and now you're unable to do it on your own, think about when it first started. When did I start putting on weight? When did I start to lose control? And then say to yourself, well, in that year, in that month, just sit back and think about it for a moment. What was happening in that month? What was happening in that year? Was that a big year of developments in my life? Did I lose someone? Did I break up with someone? Did I succeed or fail in my career, my finances, my study? What was happening that year? Where does this come from? Because weight, obesity, and anorexia, and a lot of other things as well, they all stem from a place of lack of love, fear, or loss of control in the life. So when our self-worth is damaged, we feed ourselves with love, we nurture ourselves with love. And for some people, outside the square, I found a lot of people, the idea of feeding themselves to pad themselves up, to protect themselves from the opposite sex or protect themselves from negativity. Now that sounds strange, doesn't it? I'm lonely, I want to meet someone in my life, I want to be attractive to others, all those different things, and yet they're piling on the weight to pad themselves up, to comfort them from anything that might come and hurt them. So keeping people at bay, keeping negativity at bay. And so that's another way this can happen as well. So even not realizing that that's where it's gone, that's where it's gone, that's where it's come from. So if you would like to use the free hypnosis, use the link below. I am going to be adding up some more, specifically for weight loss and specifically for anorexia. I have become an expert on anorexic and eating disorders, as well as weight loss. So do use the link below, and in the comments let me know what else you want me to talk about, touch on. And thank you for watching. Be kind to you and those you love, and from Jedi Side Jake, may the force be with you.